wanted to check in with my guides tonight and talk about a topic that I think is interesting. And we've talked about it briefly before, but I thought we could go into a little bit more detail. Spirit guides, is space-time an illusion? Yes. Okay. And is everything happening in the now moment in the astral plane? Yes. Okay. So did divine beings or other fractals of source create this space-time illusion? No. Okay. And what I'm guessing is that prime creator source actually created the space-time illusion. Yes. Okay. And because the earth is, it's such an important part of the earthly experience, I wondered, are there other planets that have the same illusory experience? Yes. Okay. So Earth is not the only one. No. Okay. Okay. And because it's an illusion, I wondered, are our scientists in the 3D, unable to fully understand space-time because they're not factoring in consciousness? Yes, and that is a huge yes. So the bottom line is the answers will never be found with 3D explanations because they are not factoring in the divine consciousness that created it. Yes, okay. Okay, wonderful. So because spirit guides and other divine beings are in the astral plane and space-time is an illusion, how are you able to interact with me and other channelers and those who are in connection with the divine realms? How are you able to do that from the astral plane? we Project, project, our, consciousness. We project our consciousness. So you project your consciousness into the earthly experience, and you do that through an intentional choice to project, to make that projection. And I wondered, is this something that you have to keep choosing over and over? Because everything's happening in the now moment. So because our lifetimes are, they seem long, and as human beings, you have to continually make the choice to project your consciousness into that experience to provide guidance, support, and love to the human in the incarnation. Okay, yes, yes. And on that note, I wondered if there are times when a spirit guide may decide they're unable to project their consciousness, or they no longer wish to project their consciousness. Maybe another spirit guide can come in that's more, could be more valuable depending upon that person's situation at a point in their life. Yes, okay, okay, wonderful. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I'd like to ask about space-time. Is there anything else you'd like to add about this topic in particular? Yes, okay. Do, N-O, T, do not, B, E-B, A, F, R, A, I, D, do not be afraid. And that's because, as we've talked about many times before, the earth is ascending in frequency and humanity is evolving in consciousness. And this is a natural part of the process of our evolution, is beginning to understand the true nature of reality. So in other words, some of the things we've been told as human beings in the 3D experience are not true. So we've kind of come up with a story of trying to explain things based on limited information because of amnesia. We do not know who we truly are, but we need to realize that some of those stories are just that, they're stories. And so for us to understand the true nature of reality, we have to be open to new information and understanding that there is a higher level of consciousness, there is a divinity, and that we are just beginning to understand collectively. Yes, okay, wonderful. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add about this topic? No. All right, well, thank you so much for this information. Sending you much love and gratitude. Thank you, and good night.